Hey everybody, Tom here at Our Pastime. I saw a post for people that were having problems with their starters on their cubs, saying that all they had to do was turn this a quarter of a turn so that the top of this would raise up and make better contact with their pull starter. Well, I would not do that if I were you, because what I found out when I did that is, you see at the bottom of this little stud is a groove, at least on mine, where those contacts slide into that groove, and when you turn this a quarter turn, you break that connection, and depending on how those arms are, you could actually run into the problem that I have, where the connection breaks and your starter no longer works at all. So that's what I'm doing today, is trying to put this connection back together and see if that's the problem why my cub will not start any longer. So just a word to the wise, don't turn that. Leave it where it is. If you've got a starter problem, it's probably not this. Clean it up, clean your contacts first before attempting to fix the problem by turning this stud. You can adjust it in or out, but do not do it by turning. There is a nut that goes on the end of this, that goes on the inside of the cylinder here, the starter, and you can adjust it in and out with that, but do not turn this, because that will disengage the connection inside your starter. So if you need to adjust this, you actually have to pull your starter off and take the cap off, unscrew these from the other end, or unbolt them so that you can lift this part, the nose off, and then it will give you access to this stud and the lock nut that holds it in place. Just a little tip for you today. Any questions, just feel free to get in touch with me, Tom at Our Pastime. I have a YouTube channel, and as well as a Facebook page and Instagram at OPT Video. OPT and Video, all one word. I did manage to have this turned out a little bit so that the pole starter can make more contact with it, because I do think mine's worn a little bit. But the important thing is, these arms here are now making good contact with the back of the stud. I did manage to get an extra washer in. When you put these washers back in, there is a fiber washer, or I don't know, it's like a cardboard washer or something. It's an insulated washer anyway, it's not metal, to isolate it from the metal of the starter. There's one on either side that needs to go between the nut and the stud, so that there is no contact, because this is the ground contact, and this is where the let's see, that would be the negative on mine, goes into the negative. This is the negative contact, and I have a positive ground. So these washers isolate the negative from the positive ground. Anyway, these are the contacts, the internal contacts. They're connected once again to the, making good contact to the stud. Before, when I took it apart, they were kind of floppy, and they weren't, it looked like they were not, that might have been the problem with the starter, but we'll find out as soon as we hook the starter up. So that was my little repair. I didn't solder them. I did use my file and just shine up the places where they come in contact with the stud. So hopefully that's enough, and we'll find out soon. But once again, do not turn the stud from the outside. This is something you need to adjust from the inside by turning that nut, and that nut turns into, and this has to stay in this position and that's relative to where the notch is on the other side that I showed you earlier. Sure. Let's see if it will start. Now let's pull the choke.